My name is Lána Salmon, and recently I graduated with a PhD in Astrophysics at the University College Dublin Space Science Group. So for the past 4 years I've been studying the most luminous explosions in the universe, supported by the Irish Research Council. And so basically what I study day to day is the death of massive stars. So when two stars collide with one another, or when a star implodes on itself. And so I try to understand these events by looking at the data from the events, which comes in the form of light. So some of the light we can see with our eyes, and we can detect that with telescopes. But some of the light is incredibly energetic, up to 10 million times more energetic than the light we see with our eyes. They're called gamma rays, and we detect those with satellites. And so to understand more about these events, I study this data to try and figure out how many different kinds of explosions happen in space. And this helps us to understand the distance to these events, how energetic are they, what kind of galaxies they occur in. And so I also work on future missions, trying to understand how best we can observe these events in the future by running simulations on a computer, and also working with teams of scientists in collaborations and teams to try and solve problems together. During my PhD, I was also really lucky to contribute to an amazing team of engineers, physicists, mathematicians and computer scientists who are all working together to build Ireland's first satellite, AirSat-1. It's a very small satellite, it's about the size of a milk carton, but I helped to understand more about the communications of the satellite. How do we get data from Earth to space, and also data from the satellite down to Earth? And this was a really incredible experience of hands-on satellite development where I learned so much. What originally inspired my interest in space was a family holiday. I think I was about 8 or 9, and I got to visit Kennedy Space Center in Florida. And what really struck me on being there was seeing the machines, the satellites, that we could send to space to collect data for us instead of sending humans. So that's really what sparked my interest. When I returned home, I got my first telescope, and from then on really I was hooked. And really when I got to secondary school, the amazing teachers showed us that there are opportunities out there for us to study STEM and also have jobs in the STEM world. And I'm very lucky, my family are incredibly supportive. I am the first person in the family to be working in science and also to go to college, but I have amazing support from them. I was really drawn to STEM subjects at school, especially physics and technology. I was really lucky to go to a school that really encouraged us to study STEM subjects and really encouraged us to look at the opportunities that were out there. So I went to St. Wolston's Community School in Selbridge, and at the time it was the only school in Ireland that offered technology as a subject to an all-girls school. So I was really lucky. And so physics and technology really were my favourite subjects every day, because I loved solving a problem, trying to build something, trying to figure out how it worked, and so those were really the highlights of my day. Although physics and maths were really my favourite subjects at school, they were my weakest subjects at Leaving Cert level. So I did worry about my ability to study them at third level, but I knew I'd always work my hardest. And when I got to college, I still struggled specifically with maths. I found that by asking for help, by getting support from tutors and lecturers and my fellow peers, I was able to, and with time I suppose, figure out that actually the way that I learn is a little bit different to other people. Sometimes it can take me a little bit longer to understand something, but actually my kind of unique way of looking at things can be a strength. It can be a way for me to have a different approach to a problem, which sometimes can be very, very helpful. So when I left school, my formal education path began with my undergraduate degree, which was science in UCD. I was originally drawn to physics with astronomy and space science because I'm just a very curious person. I love asking questions, trying to find the answers, and space is an incredible area where there's so many unknowns to try and figure out. So when I was doing my undergraduate degree, I took part in a summer research internship at the UCD Space Science Group. And that was a really incredible experience, getting to work with the amazing, enthusiastic scientists there. I've realized that science is really all about pushing the boundaries and how challenging it really is to ask new questions, but also those questions actually never run out. And ultimately getting to understand more about something and then share that with the world was a really great reward. So I figured I wanted to do that for another 4 years after my undergraduate degree, and so I went on to do a PhD. Outside of work, I am involved in some STEM-related activities. For example, during my PhD, one of the hobbies that really helped me was outreach, so communicating science and research to the public, whether that be through talks or festivals or online. What I enjoy most about my work and my research is getting to look at something for the very first time. So sometimes I'm the first person or one of the first people to look at a certain area, and that's really exciting. Especially in astronomy, because there's new data being created every day, every second, and so there's always something new and some new discoveries. And what I wish I had been told when I was younger is to be patient with myself, to really seek out help when I need it, because there's always help there, whether that be from your tutors, your lecturers, or your fellow peers. I think I worried an awful lot about fitting in, whether I would actually be suited to a career in STEM. Would I be smart enough? Would I find people in STEM who have similar interests to me? I think I would have really appreciated talking to other scientists and understanding more about their backgrounds. I would have been an awful lot less nervous about entering STEM if I had known about the welcoming community that I would be entering into. And so it really is all kinds of people that you meet. And that's because it really doesn't take just one kind of person to be a scientist. Although it may be daunting to enter into this field when you maybe don't know so much about all the people in it, just know that it is a really welcoming field in which really there's just lots of different kinds of people, and you'll meet people that are like you.